I used to be convinced that digital planners were the key to getting things done. I had all the apps, all of the notifications, and a color-coded calendar that was a genuine masterpiece. My phone, my laptop, my watch, they were all synced up into what I thought was the ultimate productivity machine. But the truth? I was constantly stressed, totally unfocused, and my to-do list just kept getting longer. I was digitally organized, but mentally I was a complete mess. Honestly, I was on the edge of burnout when I decided to try a little experiment. I ditched my digital tools and I went back to the basics. The exact kind of tools that our parents and grandparents used to build empires and change the world. And what I found with these 7 old school tools totally shocked me. They didn't just help me get stuff done, it felt like they 10 times my productivity. And more importantly, they brought a sense of calm and control back into my life. In this video, I'm gonna share with you those 7 tools that changed everything for me. So if that sounds good to you, give this video a big thumbs up and let's get into it. All right, the very first tool, and possibly the most important, is also the simplest. It's a small pocket notebook. I'm not talking about an expensive journal or a fancy leather-bound planner. Just a simple pocket notebook that I use for 2 things every single morning: a brain dump and an on-the-go to-do list. The idea couldn't be more straightforward. The second I sit down at my desk, I pull out this tiny little notebook and I dump out everything that is on my mind. Every task, every worry, every nagging idea, every phone call I need to make. Before I even pick up my phone for the day, it gets dumped out onto this page. Some psychologists call this cognitive offloading, which is a fancy way of saying you're clearing the RAM on your computer, or in this case, your brain. Getting those swirling ideas out of your head and onto paper. You clear up the mental space you need to think, to create, and to solve problems. I used to start my day feeling overwhelmed, like I was already behind. And now this simple 5-minute daily ritual releases the overwhelm and gets me on track to be productive and focused. It gives me a real, tangible idea of what is on my plate, instead of some vague, anxiety-inducing cloud of stuff I have to do. As a matter of fact, it's the foundation for my entire day. And it's not about organizing, it's about exercising the mental clutter so that you can start your day with focus. Also, because it's so small, it's easy to throw in my purse or even my back pocket so that I can add things that come up throughout the day as I think of them, which means no more worrying about forgetting something. Now, a brain dump is great, but what about everything else? Well, that is where my next tool comes into play, the bullet journal. This is an all-in-one command system. And if you haven't heard of the bullet journal method before by Ryder Carroll, this method can be your planner, your diary, and your to-do list all rolled into one. It's where everything that isn't your top priority today goes to live. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, I've seen those bullet journal spreads on YouTube and on TikTok, and I just don't have time for that. I'm not that creative. And that's okay. The bullet journal method doesn't have to be fancy. As a matter of fact, you can keep it very simple with a few spreads like a future log so that you can see what's coming a few months out, a monthly log so that you know what's happening right now, and some daily pages so that you can jot down all of your ideas in one place. The key is a technique called rapid logging, and this is where you use simple symbols to capture tasks, events, and notes in a matter of seconds. As a matter of fact, this is where the tasks from your morning brain dump get organized. I know that this tool single-handedly changed my fear of forgetting things. I used to keep dozens of browser tabs open and set countless reminders because I was terrified something was going to fall through the cracks. But there's no need to worry when you're using this bullet journal method, because it will let you clear your head and allow you to get into deep work because you know that everything is organized in one place. Now, while the bullet journal is for capturing all the chaos, my next tool is for keeping the order, and that is my Hobonichi cousin. This is my go-to planner. It has a monthly spread so that you can see everything's coming up. It has 2-page weekly spreads spreads so that you can see your week at a glance, and it has daily pages so that you can take notes and jot down any ideas on the go. Now, your calendar does not have to be the Hobonichi cousin like me. It can be any calendar of your choice. The point is, it's to help you be organized. On Sunday evenings, I sit down for about half an hour with this planner and my bullet journal to map out my week. I migrate all of my appointments, deadlines, and important events onto my weekly spread. And this gives me a visual map of my time for the week. I can see where all my meetings are, where I can carve out time for deep work, and where I can make personal time for my family and friends. It's a practice that helps you feel like you're starting the week off with a head start instead of constantly behind. And unlike a digital calendar that feels like it's just happening to you, sketching your week out by hand makes you feel proactive and intentional with how you're spending your most valuable resource, your time. I used to let Google Calendar run my life, bouncing from one notification to the next. But now I'm the one that tells my week how to work and what to do. And seeing it all laid out on paper helps me balance my workload. It prevents me from saying yes to too many things. And it ensures that I'm actually making the progress on my goals that I need to make. I am making the choices, not just reacting to what comes my way. By the way, if you're getting some real value out of these tips and you're ready to trade in some of that digital stress for some analog calm, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and helps push this content out to other people who need it. Now, the next tool in my arsenal is all about simplifying complexity. And for me, it's a throwback to my high school days. And that tool is index cards. We all use them back in high school to plan out the outlines for our essays and research papers. Or at least if you were in high school in the 90s like me, you did. It's amazing how these little stacks of paper somehow turn something big and overwhelming into small, manageable bites. And these days, I use them all the time, but not just for essays. I use them for everything. Whether I am creating a new course, or working on a product launch, or just planning out my next big project, I use index cards to break those big projects into small tasks that I can handle one at a time. Here's how it works. I give each card one thought, one step, or one idea. Then I spread them across my desk or sometimes across my floor. Suddenly, I can see the whole process. I can move them around as needed, kind of like a puzzle, until I find the magic formula that's really going to work. I even use colored index cards to color code individual sections to make it even clearer for me to see. There's something so powerful about holding ideas in your hands. Unlike a digital project management tool that keeps things buried, using physical index card gives me a tactile and flexible way to map things out. And once I have the outline worked out, I can transfer it into my planner, my project system, or even a digital tool if I need to share it. But the initial brainstorm, the real messy work, always starts on the cards. It's a practice that helps me take something that seems completely overwhelming and turn it into something that I can easily do. Now, if index cards are for outlining, sticky notes are my visual planning powerhouse. There's just something about those bright little squares that make ideas feel more approachable. I use sticky notes for everything, from sketching out a content calendar, to batching ideas for a launch, to mapping out my top 3 priorities for the week. Now, here's why they work so well. With sticky notes, each note is a separate idea. And because they're movable, I can shift them around until the larger picture makes sense. Now, I know we can do this on index cards, but sticky notes adhere to things, which means you can do it in your planner or on a wall, and it doesn't have to take up desk space or floor space. When I'm planning out my content, I will write each video idea or each post idea out onto its very own sticky note and spread them out across the wall. I will use different colors for YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. Suddenly, I can see the flow of the month at a glance, and I can adjust if needed with a quick peel and restick. I also use sticky notes as a mini Kanban board. I will have a section for planned, a section for in progress, and a section for finished. And as I work through my week and I start moving those sticky notes down from the planned all the way to the finished, it just gives me this empowering sense of accomplishment. And unlike a rigid digital calendar that locks you into dates and deadlines, sticky notes make planning colorful and fun. They make brainstorming feel like a creative session instead of just another item on your to-do list. My sixth tool is actually a set of tools, and that is dedicated notebooks for specific kinds of thinking. I had this realization that one of the biggest drains on my focus was context switching. I was using this same digital app for meeting notes, brainstorming new video ideas, and taking notes on books I've read. Clicking back and forth all the time to find what I was looking for was creating this state of mental chaos. So now I have separate notebooks for each individual task. One notebook for meeting notes, another one that's a little more creative for when I want to do mind mapping, and then a third one for my reading notes. When I pick up my brainstorming notebook, my mind gets the message that it's time to start thinking expansively, no judgment needed. And when I open my meeting notebook, I know it's time to be sharp and analytical. These notebooks are signals that tell my brain what it needs to do at the time. And there's research out there that shows that writing things down actually activate different parts of your brain than typing, which can boost both memory and creativity. By dedicating a notebook to specific tasks, you create these mental zones. And this kind of separation can be huge for unlocking deep focus. For me, now I'm no longer trying to do creative tasks in the same space that I used for boring admin stuff. And to be honest, the quality of my work has gone way up since switching. Now, my last tool is a super simple one that helps bring the big picture into clear focus, and that is a large wall calendar. The kind where you can see an entire year at once. Now, you can buy one or you can just print off monthly calendars and stick them to your wall. Now, this might sound redundant since we have other calendars, but it serves a totally different psychological purpose. This calendar isn't for daily tasks or appointments. It's for tracking progress on your long-term goals. For work, I use it to track progress on my big projects. For example, if I'm on a big 90-day project, I will cross each day off individually. That simple act of marking my progress creates a powerful feedback loop. Digital tools hide your progress away in a sub-menu somewhere, but a wall calendar makes your progress impossible to ignore. It's like those incentive charts that your teachers probably used in elementary school. You know, the ones where you get the sticker next to your name. We would do anything to get that sticker. It's a constant visible marker of the progress you're making, which is way more motivating than a notification popping up on your screen. Heck, go buy yourself some stickers if that makes it more fun for you, and put a sticker on each day. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's the act of physically doing it that makes all the difference. All of these analog tools force you to slow down, force you to be more intentional, and help you connect to your work on a much deeper level. They give you a sense of control and freedom from all of the digital noise that's pulling you in 1,000 different directions. Now, I'm not saying adopt all 7 of these tomorrow, but I do want to give you the challenge to pick just one. Maybe it's just the 5-minute brain dump in the morning. Try it for just 1 week. Just see how it feels to start your day with a clear head instead of a glowing screen. Now, I would love to hear from you. What are your favorite analog tools? Do you love one that I didn't mention? Drop them in the comments below because I love learning what works for you guys too. And if you want even more planning hacks, be sure to check out this video. And until next time, peace out.